and Jim, I'd like to thank you for joining us for this celebration of love and friendship and family. So that our time together can better reflect these things, let's take a break from the electronics. Please take a few minutes now to silence your cell phones and other devices. Also, please do not take pictures during the ceremony. Lydia and Jim will be happy to share the official pictures with you at a later time. Lastly, if you have your bell, please keep it quiet during the ceremony. Thank you. As you've looked around this lovely building this afternoon, you may have noticed that Lydia and Jim have incorporated pictures of their family into their decor. Because family is so important to them, we want to take a moment to acknowledge some beloved family members who are no longer with us in body, but we know are with us in spirit today. They include Jim's grandparents, Roberta and Frances Grady, as well as Lucy and William Andrus. Lydia remembers her grandparents, Paul and Louise Toller, and Aunt Beverly Toller Braswell. Also, we hold in our hearts all those who wish they could be here today, but were kept away by distance, especially Jim's sister, Catherine Grady Nounce. Lydia and Jim have asked me to share the beginning of their story, not just from their perspective, but also from a few of the friends and family who surround them with love today. Jim and Lydia met here in Elkins at a get-together held by their mutual friends, Whitney and Rich. Jim's first impression of Lydia was when she walked into the restaurant. He thought she was attractive, but also thought she was only half his age, so he should just leave that one alone. After several conversations about education and professional responsibilities, he realized, and I quote, "Oh, she's a grown-up, that's awesome!" They tell me they weren't interested in each other in a flirtatious way that weekend, but that they mutually admired each other's playfulness, kindness, and emotional maturity. Their most memorable conversation that first weekend was about the challenges of being single. They both had struggled with being single, but they had finally come to an emotional place of acceptance, a place where they focused on celebrating the meaning and contentment they already had in their lives. I think it was a relief and a comfort for them to talk to someone else who felt the same way. At the end of the weekend, Jim returned to LA, where he was living at the time. When he got home, Jim friended Lydia on Facebook. He wrote her long, detailed, almost poetic emails. Then, usually after a long delay, Lydia would send him back a much shorter response. After several exchanges like this, Jim started to feel that maybe he should give up on this budding friendship. Meanwhile, back in Elkins, at dinner one evening, a mutual friend asked Lydia if Jim was bothering her with his emails. Lydia felt like a jerk for not responding to him promptly. She wasn't avoiding Jim, just trying not to spend so much time on the computer. So she sent him an explanation that she was interested in knowing him, but she was not interested in being online constantly. Jim called her the next day, and every day after that until he moved to Elkins in November. So truthfully, they fell in love over the phone. They talked every day for weeks about their everyday lives, their likes and dislikes, their values and preferences, their life goals. They talked about raising children and caring for their parents. They talked about everything. According to Jim, it just seemed that any topic of conversation with this person makes sense. He felt there was a future there. He wanted there to be, but there were still a lot of obstacles in front of them. They had to choose not to listen to conventional wisdom. In March of last year, Jim asked Lydia to have dinner with him in California. To Lydia, it didn't make sense that he would want to invest that much time and energy in a long-distance relationship. She was blown away by his commitment to knowing her, to really listening, and to being emotionally available and sincere. In April of 2014, they went on their first in-person date. During that visit, they both realized, this is it, this is the person I want to make a life with. It is deeply meaningful to Lydia that before she could even offer to move, Jim told her that her work is important to the world and important to Elkins. Since he could work from anywhere, he felt he should make the move to West Virginia. She was stunned and touched to have a partner who valued her work in that way. They were both determined to make it work. Their second in-person date was to meet each other's parents 6 weeks later. Both sets of parents told me how much they enjoyed those first meetings, how easily and comfortably they fit into each other's families. By the time Jim was able to move to Elkins last November, they were already talking about their life together and their future. Lydia told Jim it was ridiculous to keep talking about when we're married when they weren't even engaged yet. Jim stood his ground and told her that he would propose when he was ready. He also told her that February seemed like a good month, since that would mark a year since they first met. What Lydia didn't know is that Jim was trying to surprise her. He had planned to propose during his farewell party in California in October, but the ring hadn't arrived in time. The day after he moved to Elkins, Jim wanted to take Lydia out to dinner. She wasn't feeling well, so she just threw on some jeans and a fleece. Lydia thought it was very out of character when Jim asked her if she could at least change into a nicer shirt. At the restaurant, they started talking about how Lydia loves surprises, but people are rarely able to surprise her. Jim told her, "Well, I hope I'll be able to surprise you at least once in our life together." He got down on one knee and proposed, even though it wasn't yet February. And that's how we got to today, their wedding day. In preparation for today, I asked them both what they think makes them a strong couple, good life partners. Here's what they said. They both engage with the world, and they value many of the same things. They respect and admire each other. They are committed to communication, to getting underneath the surface and working through issues. They are able to take serious things seriously and still enjoy being silly. They adore each other, want what's best for each other, and want to take care of each other. Here's what a few of their friends have to say. Lydia's friend Chelsea told me, "The first time Lydia told me about Jim, I knew there was something different about this one. When I met Jim, the way he talked about her also had that something special. They accentuate each other's good parts and help each other with the hard parts. It's cheesy, but it just feels like they were supposed to be together." Jim's friend Michael remembers, "I first saw Lydia when she was in a boat approaching the island where Jim's family summers. Even from a distance, I could see her beautiful, warm smile, and I thought, oh, I get it. I see why Jim is with her. Then I looked at Jim's face, and I saw this little boy grin, just filled up with joy. Their compatibility is because they come from the same place of openness and love for people." Lydia's friend Matt met Jim the same weekend she did. He says, "Their relationship felt so quick, it didn't make logical sense, but it felt good and right from the get-go. They are both such open, big-hearted people with the ability to communicate and be clear about who they are. My wish for them is that they hold on to their playfulness, the light-hearted spirit of how they approach life, their friendships, and each other. Oh, and that they have beautiful babies." Jim's former roommate, Maggie, couldn't be here today, but she sends her love. She told me, "Their love was so fast, it took my breath away. But it was so positive and ardent that it seemed meant to be. I hope they continue to do such a good job of caring for each other's hearts with honesty and sensitivity. If they nurture that, they can achieve anything." Lydia's parents appreciate Jim's grace under fire, his calm persistence, which gives Lydia's more fiery personality a quiet port for the storms of life. Jim's parents like that Lydia inspires and motivates him. Both sets of parents are pleased that Jim and Lydia are true partners, emotionally well-balanced and intellectually well-matched. They hope that they will continue to communicate well, respect, and cherish each other. So those are just a few of the many wonderful things that people have to say about Lydia and Jim. Every person that I have spoken to describe be. When I asked Jim, why Lydia? He said that he loves the way she talks, the way she expresses herself and has really awesome values. He has never met anyone who combines sweetness and sharpness, fun and responsibility, brilliance and beauty, all of those things together. When I asked Lydia, why Jim? She said she admires how gracious and hospitable he is, how he takes care of people, that he is gentle and genuine, how he is open to compromise but doesn't concede deeply held beliefs, even when it is difficult, that he is forthcoming and steadfast. I also talked to Jim and Lydia about their hopes for the future. Jim hopes for a family. He wants to live all the wonderful and challenging parts of that experience together, trading off responsibilities at different times, supporting each other's work. As much as they can, he wants to keep it just as it is now. He hopes they will never take each other for granted and that they will free each other to follow their dreams. Lydia wants them to have a sense of rootedness, of connection and stability in their support for each other. She wants their deep love for each other to extend to others, the family that they already have and the family that they create together. Mostly, she wants them to continue to experience mutuality and deciding what is right for them together. The steps along the path are not as important as being on the path together. She wants them to focus on harmony, to see what it produces in their home and have that echo out into the world. So, for those of us who know them and love them, we know that these are two beautiful souls. These souls shine even more brightly through their love for each other. It is such a blessing that they found each other.
Lost and lost. noche en la isla, por Pablo Neruda. Toda la noche he dormido contigo, junto al mar en la isla. Salvaje y dulce eras entre el placer y el sueño, entre el fuego y el agua. Tal vez muy tarde nuestros sueños se unieron en lo alto o en el fondo, arriba como ramas que un mismo viento mueve, abajo como rojas raíces que se tocan. Tal vez tu sueño se separó del mío y por el mar oscuro me buscaba como antes, cuando aún no existías, cuando sin divisarte navegué por tu lado y tus ojos buscaban lo que ahora, pan, vino, amor y cólera, te doy a manos llenas, porque tú eres la copa que esperaba los dones de mi vida. He dormido contigo toda la noche, mientras la oscura tierra gira, con vivos y con muertos, y al despertar de pronto en medio de la sombra, mi brazo rodeaba tu cintura. Ni la noche ni el sueño pudieron separarnos. He dormido contigo y al despertar tu boca, salida de tu sueño, me dio el sabor de tierra, de agua marina, de algas, del fondo de tu vida, y recibí tu beso, mojada por la aurora, como si me llegara del mar que nos rodea. La vida nueva, Dante. In that book, which is my memory, on the first page, that is the chapter when I first met you, appear the words, "Here begins a new life."
Lydia and Jim have chosen hand fasting as a symbol of their intention to enter into the bonds of matrimony, the bonds of love and partnership. Historically, forms of the word hand fasting are found in Anglo-Saxon, German, Swedish, and Danish. In each of these languages, it means a pledge made by the giving of hands. Holding hands is a simple gesture, but it wields great power